Auckland.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Sailing the high seas of movie trailers. It's Trailer Sailor with Lyndon Puffin.
Meet Basil. His simple life was about to turn upside down. Now, thanks to a medical miracle and a chance meeting with a makeshift family of misfits, he's going to find the two men who made the bullet that almost killed him.
It's another episode
In 2010.
of Trailer Sailor here on the Kiwi this morning.
I believe it is. I believe it is. Did that one come to a bit of a crashing halt there? That would be the trailer for Micmacs. Right, okay, Micmacs. Micmacs is one of my all-time favourite writer-directors, a guy called Jean-Pierre Jeunet. I feel very French saying that. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, that eclectic French man whose vivid imagination has already spewed forth the likes of Delicatessen, City of Lost Children, Amélie, and A Very Long Engagement. Well, we can prepare ourselves for another sumptuous helping of the quirky comic noir with the film Micmacs. Now, I don't understand the title of it, but apart from the name, Micmacs, I probably have to watch the rest of the film to figure that out. The trailer in no way disappoints, and I'm urging you to all go and check this one out. The style, the sets, the witty script, and the familiar cast that from all his previous films, they're back. It's so very Genet, very Genet. Now, it's the story of a guy called Basile. Basile is like a middle-aged man he's kind of beset by bad luck, he thinks. Anyway, see, his father was job working as a boss on a life. He's caught up in this tragic little accident, freaky little thing where he ends up getting shot in the head, and I won't say how, but he gets shot in the head and a bullet gets lodged in his brain. He nearly dies, doesn't die, bullet has to stay in his brain, leaves him with some weird side effects which appear from the trailer to be an ability to dance like a robot, which he can then make a living of, busking dancing as a robot since he's not able to really do anything anymore. So what happens is he gets to feeling like it's the arms manufacturers that are to blame for making the bomb that killed his dad and the bullet that's stuck in his brain. And so he gets together this cast of genius, kind of, what would you call them, misfit geniuses, eccentric geniuses who live in this junkyard under this big pile of junk. It's quite crackfox, if you will. And together they've got these weird abilities, and they go on this mission to bring down the weapons manufacturing industry. It's billed as a satire of the arms trade, and it comes after Jean-Pierre Jeunet quit the job he had previously, which was making The Life of Pi into a movie. Apparently that was going along, went sideways, and he quit because it's not working out. It's all too Hollywood. And so Ang Lee is now making Life of Pi. Some of you will be happy about that. It is getting finished, coming out next year. But this one's coming out in June, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Micmacs, if you like Delicatessen and Amélie, and I know every single librarian out there in the world did, then you're just going to love Micmacs. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, Micmacs, I have no hesitation in giving this one 5 out of 5. You must go watch the trailer. It looks classic. All right, the next one, Vamps.
Hey, Bug. Don't be back late.
I know.
Come give us a hug before you go. Hugs.
Hug her. That's what she's there for. Have you thought any more about making that call?
That could really hurt Mom's feelings.
How can you not even be curious about it?
Each of my moms had a kid with your sperm?
Liking both of them.
Uh-huh, liking gay.
Right on. Cool. I love lesbians.
Great.
I get it. He's their biological...
Whams!
You're eating, Lyndon. What are you doing?
I'm watching the trailer that you're playing there. It's gone a bit digital. Hopefully my toast doesn't do the same. That's the trailer for The Kids Are All Right. Now, not to be confused, he puts his toast down for a second here, not to be confused with the excellent documentary of the same name about the British rock band The Who, which I watched possibly 50 or so times when I was younger. However, it is inspired by their song, The Kids Are All Right, badly sung by me. So it's a charming postmodern film about a couple of well-adjusted hip kids, teenage kids, have been raised by their loving mums. That's mums, long-term gay couple, but the kids now want to track down their sperm donor father and see what he's like and how it may have influenced him. Now, the mums, who are played by the fantastic duo of Julianne Moore and Annette Bening, allowed us to go ahead, because it's pretty contemporary. They allow us to go ahead, and so enters Mark Ruffalo into their lives. Now, he's a cool, carefree, loose dude who the kids dig, but whose presence upsets the balance of this contemporary family, making them reassess some of their well-adjusted values and social righteousnesses. Now, clashing of values, of course, is always good for a laugh. While this could so easily subside into a collection of cheap gags, I get the feeling it won't. This is a great cast. And the acclaimed director, Lisa Cholodenko, I think, will save this from being some sort of kind of weird sort of rom-com slapstick. It does. It feels good, I think, unless, of course, you're one of those kind of Luddite flatheads who thinks that gays and gay marriage is a sin in the eyes of God. I don't. I think the kids are all right. Looks more than all right, and I'm giving it 4 out of 5 whams. 4 out of 5. Kids are all right.
I knew that George was in a film.
I was in a movie back in 1989. It's called Troll 2, and it's become known as the worst film of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I left in about the middle of the movie.
It was so bad.
I maybe hoped it wouldn't be as bad as it was, but it was.
I had no idea what it all meant or what I was doing or what I was saying.
By every conceivable measure, this is a bad film.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Worst movie ever seen, and that gives you a clue to what this one's going to be, Lyndon.
And the thing about the worst movie you've ever seen is it's the worst movie that you've ever seen, because you've actually seen it, Whams. I remember last year when we were doing the film festival and we were running backwards and forwards all trying to see all kinds of films, including Winnebago Man, which just reminded me slightly of. You went and saw this movie, didn't you? You went and saw Best Worst Movie.
I did. The film festival last year. Now, I saw this before I actually saw the movie that it's about. Now, this is a documentary about Troll 2, and I think it's how it started out. It started out being a documentary about the people behind Troll 2, but it became so much more. It became about the journey that some of these actors went through after the movie, and then it became all about the cult status of Troll 2 and how that's evolved into this mad kind of now very successful cult film.
Just to background on this. So Troll 2 was released in 1989. There was a Italian director called Claudio Fragrasso, who still, from what I can tell, doesn't believe that it was the worst movie ever made. In fact, he thinks it was actually quite good and quite credible. And so it went out there into the world with these guys like the sort of the main guy, Dr. George Hardy, as he's now known, who was one of the main roles, and he's now a dentist working in Alabama. It went out there and yes, it got rated by so many sites as one of the worst ever movies, along with like Battlefield Earth and Batman and Robin, Basic Instinct 2, and there's one called Ballistics, which when you check it out, Ballistic keeps coming up on everybody's list, fighting for that top spot with Troll 2. But yes, it then took on a life of its own as people would get together in conventions and watch Troll 2 just for its sheer badness. And these guys who went off and their acting career went nowhere, and then later on in life they start getting all these phone calls like, this guy's working at this dentist, that's him up there on the screen right now, and he ends up getting this whole newfound celebrity as the lead actor in the worst movie ever made. And it's actually put together, this documentary, by one of the child actors who was in the film, a guy called Michael Paul Stevenson, who ends up being in this. But I don't get these conventions. You know, what a crazy old thing. All these people get together in massive groups. You saw, what are they? What are they all really nerdy? Is it?
It kind of is.
More nerdy than me.
It's filmic nerdiness, really. I mean, it was brought over here by Ann Timpson, who's got to be, New Zealand's biggest film nerd, I suppose, for the Incredibly Strange section. But this movie is on a continuous tour around the world at the moment. And what's really cool is that now that this has been released on Apple Movie Trailers, obviously it's getting some kind of general release, which is great because it had to be the documentary of the film festival last year. So I hope everyone gets a chance to see this.
I heard a lot about it, and I remember weighing up all of the dozens of films I was trying to rush around like an idiot to see, and I didn't go see this. And it was one of those ones, there was another one too, I kicked myself for not seeing, I think it was called An Education, that everyone's raved about. But Best Worst Movie is a documentary about the worst movie. And it has, to me, from what I can tell from the trailer, and you've seen it, there's something about the empathy, the goodness of the humans.
Yeah.
That sort of kind of humour that...
digitalised.
What the hell? Have I gone all digitalised?
Yeah, you've gone all digitalised. So we'll go out on the trailer for Troll 2, which is the best, which is the best worst movie, I suppose. Thanks very much, Lindo. See you all.
I think we'll see you next week.
So dizzy.